So as you guys saw by the thumbnail and title of this video, I'm going to go over the cheapest and fastest way that you guys could label your Pokemon cards or other TCG cards. So if you're like me and you're a vendor at local card shows or trade shows, or you're looking to get started, well, price labels are super important, and I already made a video that goes over the different types of price labels, but in this video I want to share with you guys a technique that I found that will really streamline the process and also make it cheaper and faster for you to label hundreds and thousands of cards. Personally, since I started vending, I've priced thousands of cards. It is very time consuming. So I've always been looking at better ways to do it, to make it more standardized, to make it look nicer and faster at the same time. And I think I found the cheapest way to do it at the same time. Well, before every show, I price out hundreds of cards. And this is just a recent stack that I picked up. I had to price out all of these. So I've tested out my latest method and it looks great. I'll show you guys a sneak peek of what it looks like. But basically, it's these printed out pages of labels and it's super fast and easy to do. I'll break down the whole process for you guys. So to get started, you're going to want to buy these sheets of labels. So this exact one is a 1 inch by a ½ inch label, and 160 didn't fit on this A4 sheet of paper or 8.5 by 11, the standard printer size paper that you'll find in schools or other legal documents. And if you guys already have a printer at home, you're already one step ahead. But if not, my recommendation is to get a laser printer, just because the ink is super cheap for that and you could stretch it for a lot longer. So I'll link down below the ones that I bought. So then I'll show you in the next step how I created my labels on a Word document, which is super simple, easy, and I could replicate it, edit it, and make it exactly how I want it. Alright, so for my labels themselves, I just went on Amazon and bought the cheapest one I could find really. So I bought a bulk pack of 250 label sheets, and each sheet contains 160 labels measuring a ½ inch by 1 inch. And once I received the labels, there was a link on the box that I could go to and print out the template. So the website was called the shipping store, and you guys could go to templates. So I went to templates, I found the labels that I bought, so it was these ones, R001. I went to it, and there's different formats that they offer you. So you could edit it in Word, Google Docs, PDF, or even like different Adobe programs. For me, Google Docs is the most accessible and the most versatile. So I just went on Google Docs, and it gave me this template, which worked great. So basically, they have formatted the table for you guys, so you can just input whatever you guys want in it. So right away, let's just do a quick test. So here, let's write out a few numbers, a few labels, and I'll show you guys how versatile it is. Like, honestly, it's so easy to manipulate it and edit it and also create hundreds and thousands of labels this way. But here we'll just do a couple of tests. So here, let's do $5, $125, and $100, just to show you guys how it works. You could edit the font and increase it and decrease it. I have a specific font that I'm using, but here I'm just using a generic font, Impact, which is nice to read. It's easy, it's big, especially on a card it will look great. So here, let's format it out. So here I could copy it down and then create multiples of each label. Super simple to do that. A bunch of $5 ones, a bunch of $125 ones, a bunch of $100 ones, and here let's create some other sample labels. So $1, $2, $3, $4, and $10. Those are usually the most common labels that you guys might want. Copy it all down, and you could see it's super simple to make hundreds of labels this way. And on each sheet you get 160 labels that you guys can print out. So now let's go into the actual format that I'm using. So I'll show you guys the table that I created. So personally, I have edited my labels so it's a bit easier to read and it's easier to print. So TAW, which stands for trade and win. In terms of vending, in the vending scene, it's trade and win, but in reality it's just the first 3 letters of my name. So that's really my brand or my logo when vending. So TAW, trade and win, and then I have formatted it all out. So in this sheet you guys could see it goes from $1 all the way to $24. So personally, I have decided that I want to stick to up to $24 using these labels. And then I've shown you guys before, but I have a thermal printer that I bought, which is a little bit more handy. So I use that for cards at a little bit higher price, because I put those cards in a display case. Because I put them in a display case, I want kind of a bigger label, and these labels are a bit smaller for a display case, a little bit harder to read. So that's my cutoff point, $25. So now we have this sheet formatted. Well, I could create a duplicate of this and reformat it depending on my needs. So if you have a lot of $1 cards or a lot of $2 cards, you could create more of those labels. It's very easy to manipulate this sheet. I will show you guys right here. So here I'm going to create a sheet going from 1 to 5, which is really the most common bulk tier or bulk price of cards. So we'll make a lot of $5 labels, a lot of $4 labels, even more $3 labels, more $2 labels, and the most $1 label, because that's what I found my needs are. And I like to pick up a lot of bulk cards. I find they sell the most and the fastest. So creating it this way is very efficient for me. So once we've created the labels, I could export them into PDF and then print them. The most important step in this process is having a printer. I know not everyone has a printer nowadays. Personally myself, I bought a printer for this purpose, so my initial cost is a little bit higher, but I'm going to use a printer for other needs, so I just figured out buy one. I've researched laser printers are the best, and these labels are compatible with laser printers, so that's the one I went with. So you guys will see it's formatted very well, it's very easy to read, and once I print it out, it looks amazing. So of course it's just a printer waiting for the sheets to print out, but you guys will see how fast it is. I mean, writing 160 labels by hand takes a lot of time, but printing it out and having it available on stickers that you guys could just peel off and stick on your cards makes the process so much faster, so much easier, and it's really a lot cheaper than actually doing other types of labels, especially if you're doing it in bulk like I bought it. So the ink itself is not that expensive, it's a laser printer. The sheets, I bought it in bulk, so realistically each sheet cost me about 20 cents Canadian, give or take, when I did the math, and the ink probably cost me another 5 cents. So in reality, each sheet of paper or each sheet of labels cost me about 25 cents each, which is a fraction of the cost of the other labels that I've tried out. So next, let's go into putting on the labels on a few cards just to show you guys how it is. So the size of these labels is pretty nice. 1 inch by ½ inch is a pretty good size for cards. It doesn't take up a lot of space on the card compared to the labels that I'm using from the thermal printer. The thermal printer labels are a bit of a nicer quality just because they're glossy type of paper. These are matte labels. You might be able to find a glossy type of label, but I didn't realize before buying it, and once I bought it, it's not really a big deal because they are in sleeves and in binders. These cards are all going to be in binders, so they're behind the pocket of the binder, so that's not a big deal. But applying them onto the cards itself, very simple. Obviously, sleeve up your card before applying the label. You don't want to put a raw label on you don't want to put a label on a raw card because it's going to mess up the card. There's adhesive on it. You don't want the adhesive on the card itself, rather you want on the sleeve. So do that. If you ever make that mistake, well, you're only going to make it once because it's a very expensive mistake. I've mentioned this in my previous videos. The way I price out my cards is I go on market price, and usually I just round it up or down just to make it simple and easy to read. Especially with these labels, if the card's like $1.50, I'll either do $1 or $2 depending on the card and how much demand there is for it. So side by side with the thermal labels, I mean the thermal labels are bigger and they're on a glossy sheet of paper, so it does look nicer. But these new labels cost me a fraction of the cost. I mean, a sheet of 160 cost me about 25 cents, whereas the thermal labels each cost me about 3 to 5 cents. I mean, in comparison, these labels are like a 20th of the cost. So you could print 20 labels for the cost of one thermal label. If you're pricing out hundreds and thousands of cards, it will add up really fast. So you guys will want the cheapest method to do it, which is this way that I found. As always, that's the video. If you guys like this video, please drop a like. If you guys found it useful, please share this video. And as always, don't forget to subscribe. Thank you guys for watching.